Have you ever noticed how some people spend 10, 20, 30 years in a country and still sound like the day they just arrived, but others, after just a few weeks, perhaps a few months, sound almost like a native speaker? Why is that? Why do some people feel so confident and comfortable and look so competent when other people just can't figure it out? Now, the answer is not that some people are talented or not. Quite the opposite. We're all born with the gift to communicate and express ourselves in human languages. But the difference is that a lot of people arrive in a new country expecting to learn the language like they learned their first language. Maybe you have kids and you're living in the United States and you're coming from some other country. Maybe you're watching your kids and you're thinking, why does my 5-year-old learn the language so quickly? Why are they making jokes? Why do they have the accent? And why are they laughing at me, who for some reason still can't figure it out? As children, we're constantly exploring, we're constantly curious, we're constantly asking questions. And we don't yet have strong habits that we need to undo, be aware of, and otherwise change. Now, as adults, you may have been speaking English for 10, 20, 30 years. You've been speaking your native language for perhaps even longer than this, which means that your mouth is used to moving in a certain way. And if you know anything about pronunciation, is that pronunciation is a physical habit. If you move your mouth in a certain way, you will create a certain sound. Ah, o, e. Do you see how I'm changing the shape of my mouth and creating a different sound? If you want to sound different in a new language, let's say you want to improve your pronunciation in English, you need to change the physical shape of your mouth. Now, children intuitively understand this on a certain level, and they can learn it very quickly because they're willing to make mistakes constantly. However, you as an adult, as a busy professional, and perhaps even an executive who's leading people and needs to represent companies or yourself outward, this is a lot more difficult. You probably have a lot less time to practice, and there's probably a lot more at stake with you making these mistakes. So you stay in your comfort zone, you keep it safe, because perhaps you don't believe it's possible to improve your pronunciation or reduce your accent. And even if you think it's possible, you have no idea how to do it. And like a child, you don't have all the time to play and practice. You need a systematic approach. If you want to be systematic about your approach, here's how to do it. So if you're arriving in a new country and you want to learn that language, start by figuring out what new sounds, what new patterns, what new habits do I need to learn in order to integrate that language into how I speak? What habits do I need to let go of? For example, you're coming from French and you want to speak English, there's no sound, there's no u. Eliminate those sounds, u, from your vocabulary in English. Guess what? You're going to very quickly sound much more natural, much more easy to understand, and much less distracting. Start learning sounds like ah. If I'm saying things like this, I can say world, call, girl, squirrel. You see what I mean? You have to systematically learn these tools, learn these skills, apply them to the context that you need, the conversations you're going to be having, and then close that gap systematically and progressively. Now, of course, you might be thinking, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't even know where to start. And that's normal. It can feel like a mountain that is insurmountable. So here's one thing you can do. Send me a message down below, and you can actually book a call with me and my team. We'll look at what are those gaps? What are those habits? What are those sounds that are causing the biggest problem? Then we'll systematically build a plan custom to you, your timeline, your work, the conversations you're having, and then you can use measurable KPIs to get closer and closer and closer. And if you decide to work with us for 3 to 6 months, we will actually guarantee that in 3 months or less, you will be 50% closer to your objective, or we keep working with you for free until you pass that goal. So if you're somebody who likes to move quickly, effectively, and you actually want an approach that you can follow systematically, send me a message. We'll build a custom plan for you. And before you know it, you'll feel confident, you'll stop feeling stuck, and you can actually sound like you speak English well, rather than just being a tourist who just arrived yesterday.